Welcome to another Nancy Boys Super Tuscan Adventure!
It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la. It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la. It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la.
Thanks, boys.
Wow, isn't it gorgeous? Now, did you see all those beautiful, those are homes. Right on the Grand Canal.
How magnificent.
Now, they actually made a ruling. Back in the 1500s, it was such a powerful, rich city. They made a ruling, the government did, the Repubblica, that you could only be so ornate because everyone was topping each other. I guess it's keeping up with the Renizis.
That's right.
Yeah,
but it became
that's
such
where
an
it
issue
started.
they had to pass actual laws.
The same was true of the dresses.
Oh?
Because the richer you were, the more flamboyant you were, and the better mask you had,
Oh.
the more powerful you were, but it was getting extreme. Women were actually in stilts so they could have longer trains, and they'd have to have one escort on each side of her to hold her up. It's a little extreme.
Yes. That's sacrificing for fashion.
See, and now, do you remember what the purpose of the masks are?
Not really. To have fun?
Well, it was a very Renaissance city,
Oh.
and the masks were about, the Renaissance inspired life in the here and now, enjoying what's here and now,
Oh,
not
that's
just
true.
sacrificing for the afterlife.
That's true.
But there's still a reputation you needed to upkeep. So the mask came as a handy way to go out, have your flirtations, have your wild times, and say your wild things without really having to self-identify. We know nothing about impersonating others, do we?
No, wouldn't have it.
Yeah, but that was all the rage. And you know what?
What?
There's gondolas there, right?
Gondolas, that's right.
Wait, I'm just getting a signal. Ronnie Day and Danny Kaye are just getting into a gondola.
Wow, that's terrific. Should we
In
go live to
Venezia or
them?
Venice. Let's go live.
Okay.
Hey, let's see the back roads of Venice. We are ready to go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode here. Guess where we are? In Venice with MargO.
Hey.
MargO is the absolute best gondolier we've ever run into. That's for sure.
Now, an interesting thing.
That's the Bridge of Sighs.
It is.
MargO
it
just
is.
said that's the Bridge of Sighs, and it has to do with prisoners, right? A long time ago.
No, it's 300 years inside.
300 years ago? Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Have you ever been in there, MargO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good.
2 months.
Good food.
Very good.
Now, an interesting fact on the Bridge of Sighs that I found out is this is the Doge's Palace right over here. And when you got tried and convicted, the Bridge of Sighs, you would be walked over and you could look through those little windows to see sunlight for the last time. Kind of a sad thing, but you could see sunlight for the last time over the Bridge of Sighs. I think that it's called that because you go, oof.
Now the traditional dress for the gondolier is a straw hat and a striped vest and black trousers. Very good! Yay, MargO! Usually the oarsman stands upright and pushes the oar to row the boat in the direction he is facing. Very good. Example A.
Yeah, he's doing it right.
He's doing it right.
Yeah. Any more information on the gondola?
Oh, sure. Gondolas are handcrafted from 9 woods: beech, cherry, elm, fir, larch, lime, and mahogany, oak, and walnut, using techniques established in the 1880s. Wow, there you go.
Really?
The new gondolas takes 3 months to build and costs about 10,000 lira.
Wow.
Very expensive here. And you can see it's just gorgeous.
They are beautiful. They're like polished with black lacquer and all this ornamentation that gives Venice its charm and certainly its romance.
Oh, sure. There's over 280 separate pieces of wood used to construct this gondola.
280.
Should we count them? No.
Well, cool. Look at all this traffic here. You can probably see that ahead of us. And the just busy canals. We are very fortunate here because it's such a hot day. We're here in late May, early June, and it's very high season. Unbelievable temperatures. It's like August at the State Fair. I tell you that. It is hot, hot, hot. Speaking of hot, 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 what's over there on the right there? Wow.
Gondoliers are part of the symbolism and mythology of Venice. Local legend has it that they were born with webbed feet. I don't know. MargO, were you born with webbed feet? No. To help them walk on the water. Their intimate knowledge of the city's walkways is passed down from father to son. This is still very much a male preserve. The gondola, with its slim hull and flat underside, is perfectly adapted to negotiating narrow, shallow canals. Once essential for transportation of goods from the markets to the plazas, gondolas today are largely pleasure craft, and a trip on one is an essential part of the Venetian experience.
Yeah, it is. And make sure you save up your money. Now, we got a great deal. During the day here, it's like 80 euro, which translates into about 100 euro, $100, which is quite a bit. But for 20 euro more, we're getting a much longer ride. It was 80 euro for 35 minutes, and we're actually getting a longer ride for an extra 20. If you go at night, muy expensivo. I know that we had friends do it last night, and for the whole hour, it was 200 euro, which would be about $250. So save up for the gondola ride if you want that experience. Now, a little bit about Venice. Venice is so fascinating. Now, what I understand is way back in about the 400s, 500s, the people in this area were so oppressed and so beat down by the barbarians on the mainland that they kept moving out to the islands. The islands weren't big enough to contain the society, so they started taking the mudflats and developed a technology to build a whole city on water. There's just mudflats under this island of Venezia, and what they do is they take millions and millions of wood pilings, drive them down into the mud, and what they knew is that if water stays in contact with the wood, it petrifies. So it becomes even harder than stone. So this city is built on petrified lumber. Then they could build over it, and it was sturdy. It's of course sinking. It's of course sinking, you know, and we can watch videos. It's fascinating, the floods in the wintertime and all. But wow, to think that this whole city is built on petrified wood, all in the middle of the ocean and mudflats.
They've got piazzas and palaces, huge monumental figures, all on top of these wood pillars in the water. It's just amazing. However, I guess in the wintertime, there is some flooding that occurs, so they've had to adapt their piazzas for that. They actually put out little walkways
over.
I think it's from like October to January where you get some water.
Mm-hmm.
But the shopkeepers have these special woods to sort of block the doors. And then by spring, it's all subsided again.
Yeah,
high tide, low tide stuff.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't plan your trip for winter here because you don't want to come during that. But that's why this is high season all throughout the summer, because the water is lower. And an interesting fact is, you know, Venice used to be such a thriving city, but now it almost completely thrives on tourism. And thank goodness for that, because we lose such a treasure
Oh, it's true.
if it wasn't for the tourists.
They
So,
work really hard at keeping the old Venice alive and well.
Yeah.
Look at all the structures. They're just beautiful. Santa Maria Church? Oh, okay. Beautiful. Santa Maria Church. The asymmetrical shape of the gondola counteracts the forces of the oar. Without the left forward curve to the prow, wider on the left than the right, the boat would go around in circles. You could see that with one oarsman, as opposed to like a canoe or something.
Now, back in, I think it was about 1995, the population was like 128,000 of Venice year-round, and then it dropped. Right now, it's only about 58,000, but it took a little spike in 2001. I think they're really doing a lot more renovating. Most of the people that work here in Venice live in, let's see, do you know the name of that town? Merta? Right on the mainland. It's right across the bridge of the mainland. I think it's called Merta. MargO, do you live here in Venice, or do you live in Merta?
Oh, he actually lives here.
Venice.
Wow, very good.
Year round?
Yeah.
And they have more flooding in the. No, not. Oh, that was just an old videotape.
Around here, it was possible Venice.
Oh, okay. Much
I
better
saw
now.
video.
Yeah.
No flooding in the winter anymore?
But it's one time, two times.
Oh, okay, not
November
bad.
is possible, they say.
Oh, okay.
November?
Woo! The Sumpter laws passed in 1562. We're gonna have the wars here. Laws passed in 1562 decreed that the Venetian gondolas must be black to prevent the lavish display of wealth. So, voila, they're all black.
Yeah.
One of the most fun things to do, I think, in Venice is just to wander the streets, the back alleyways, and see what you can find. We found wonderful shops. Well, there's tons of jewelry, tons of glass, but just to have their coffee is wonderful. Sit in the side shop and have coffee and cookies. Oh yeah.
And it's quite easy to get lost in Venice. As we found out this morning, we got up at like 5:30 this morning to just see what it was like in early morning Venice, wandering the side streets. And we got lost quite a number of times. And then we wanted to eat and we're like, but it was okay. Because it's never too far away.
As Americans, it's important to know that they don't have eggs and toast,
No eggs and
waffles, or bacon. The Venetians eat a little different. They just have bread and coffee and start their
Sweet
day.
rolls. Yeah.
So you may want to plan ahead and, I don't know, tuck away a little breakfast for yourself for the next day, a day ahead of time.
Or as we've been known to tuck away some cheese.
Cheese is always a good thing. They do cheese so well here in Italy.
Yeah.
A hunk of cheese will get you through any disasters.
No,
Like when you're really starving.
Hey, MargO. What's the thing with the singing gondoliers? Do they do that anymore?
For a price?
For a price?
For the competition?
Because didn't there used to be singing gondoliers?
Or is that
Or is that just a
Hollywood?
myth?
Is that Hollywood?
Is that Hollywood? Yeah.
You heard it here first from MargO. It's just Hollywood.
It's just a myth. And I think they have them at the Venetian in Vegas.
Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. But this is the real thing.
Now, I guess there's an event called the Regatta Storica held in September.
It's a competition of the gondola.
Oh, really?
Yes. Not only the gondola, it's other people of the skill of the rowing in the September of the 5 different competitions one day.
What
The principal is the
Uh-huh.
competition of the champion, no? It's the little gondola, it's the small size.
Oh, really? A smaller one?
Yes, 2 men, one here.
Oh, yeah.
The other for about 40 minutes, take to the race in the Grand Canal.
Wow.
Oh, wonderful.
It's very, very hard.
It's very competitive. It's very competitive.
Do you compete?
No.
No. How long have you been doing this?
Sorry?
How long have you been doing this?
It's 9 here.
9 years.
Very good.
And this is your career.
It's by the tradition of my family. I have the
Oh.
technique.
Good for you.
Yeah. So you're born and raised in Venice?
Oh, sorry.
He needs to focus.
Oh, sure. Now, if you look on the front of this, the ferrule serves to balance the weight of the rower. Its metal teeth symbolizes the sixth sisterly of Venice beneath the dog's cap.
Wow.
Okay, back to the competition. So it's a smaller gondola.
Yeah, no, it's about 9 meters.
Oh, okay.
It's about 1 meter. Very, very.
Very small.
Yes, but it's very light.
Do they start with a gun then?
Yeah, you have this one. After I have another competition, like is the gondola. The same this way and the 2 or 4 men.
Oh.
Get another competition. After the
I see, 2 men,
the
4
woman.
men. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's the little size is Sam Sandal is the name. Here is a 2 women. They keep the competition. And after the competition of the very young people.
Yeah.
It's about this under 18. Hey, that is the 5 different competitions.
Wow. Did you win a like trophy or medal or what do they win? Money?
It's the principle of the champion.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
So
Very
what do you love about Venice, MargO? Why do you love it here?
Venice.
Yeah,
Venezia.
Venezia.
I like all Venice because it's very beautiful. But there's the principal area, like me, as a academia area, it's also good. Yeah. Near here you have the very traditional city. Why you have the very important people stay here.
Right around this area?
sweet.
Yeah. This is the beauty because it's the popular area.
Oh, sure.
Stella is
Yeah. It is beautiful. And look at how, there's no cars here.
no, only boat.
Yeah, and it's
The people
so
is
peaceful.
by walk and take the water because we have the big ferry.
Oh, sure.
The principle is by walking.
Which is a huge. Rome is beautiful too, but it's so noisy.
Yeah.
It's not this beautiful,
Yeah.
but it's pretty, and noisy.
Yeah.
Where Venice is quiet, serene. Florence.
You know what? I think Florence is my favorite city. That would be the one to live in.
It might be expensive to live here, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people have had to move out, though, because it's gotten so expensive.
Yeah.
And they live in.
Venice has many different problems because you stay in the water. You pay two times. The service, the supermarket.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
They have the double transport. So by car and by water.
Oh, so that's the cost.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the cost of getting the materials here. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. The Venice, this is the name of the capital is the Venice.
Okay.
Is the Roma is Lazio.
Oh, okay.
Is the Milano is Lombardia. And many different.
The regions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Venice, of course, the town. Venice and the Veneto form, on the face of it, an unlikely partnership. Venice is a romantic tourist city, frozen in time. The Veneto, a forward-thinking and cosmopolitan part of the new Europe. Yet the commercial dynamism of the mainland cities is a direct legacy of the old lady of the lagoon, who in her prime ruled much of the Mediterranean. Venice is one of the few cities in the world that can be truly described as unique. It survives against all odds, built on a series of low mud banks amid the tidal waters of the Adriatic and regularly subject to floods. More than 12 million visitors a year succumb to the magic of this improbable city, whose streets are full of water and where the past has more meaning than the present.
One thing I was reading about in the Veneto is it's very, very successful. This part of northern Italy, the Dolomites are on the top, then there's the Veneto Plain. The cities of Verona, Padua, and a few other major cities are really, really industrial in the Industrial Revolution. They have really gotten technology and been a very profitable area for modern Italy. It is the most profitable area of modern Italy. And it's interesting to have this jewel, the jewel here of Venice here, kind of as a tribute to the old Italy, because this was certainly in its time during the Renaissance and the ages prior to that, the #1 trading center in the world and the richest city in the world. And you can probably tell from the buildings and how all the people lived. I mean, long ago, you know, with the mask is so famous
Oh, yeah.
in Venice. The mask was
Phantom of the Opera.
yeah, see. Well, that was actually in France, but it's that type of look.
But still, the mask, you know, the
Yeah.
mask is here.
And they would have balls, and they'd actually walk around all the time in their mask. And it was a very decadent city. People were just busy doing all sorts of stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing, and they would hide their identity with their masks. The women's trains were very long, and then there were laws passed to not have them get too long, and they couldn't fall too far behind. One thing that was really, really interesting to find out is the women would wear huge stilts and platform shoes, walk around the streets of Venice with 2 escorts to keep them upright so they could have a dress longer than the next lady. It was very competitive. Also on the streets, here comes a big boat. What's on it? And okay, back to the trains. Now that we've been so lovely distracted. Yeah, you might want to come here. It looks pretty good, all across the board. I forget where I was going.
I know. Want a few facts on the building of Venice?
Sure.
Venice is built on a patchwork of more than 100 low-lying islands. Venice is built on a patchwork of more than 100 low-lying islands in the middle of a swampy lagoon. To overcome these extremely challenging conditions, early Venetian builders evolved construction techniques unique to the city. Building with impermeable stones supported by larch wood rafts and timber piles. This method proved to be effective, but most Venetian buildings are remarkably robust, many having stood for the last 400 years. By the 1500s, the city had taken on much of its present shape, and only in the 20th century has further building begun to alter the outline. First, pinewood piles were driven 25 feet into the ground before building work could begin. They rest on a solid contio, the compressed clay layer at the bottom of the lagoon. Then over the top of that, they laid some bricks. Then Istrian stone, a part of marble, was used to create a damp-proof foundation. Let's see, above that, that's it. Above that, they could build these wonderful buildings. And they've stayed afloat for hundreds of years. Pretty amazing.
Hey, MargO, do you remember what was the year when Venice was in its prime?
No, it's very not prime in Venice. Very quiet.
Quiet. Yeah. No, I mean in history, like in the 1500s, the 1400s.
We know Venice had lots of power. When was
Yeah.
that? Do you know when that was? A long time ago? Yeah.
No, Venice is a very long time of the history of the tourist city.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, history.
Okay.
Or tourism.
Yeah.
Very good.
Do they come in January, February?
Yeah, February is Chicago.
And how cold?
It's about 0
So it's a chilly city.
under 5.
Yeah.
We have the sun every day. Yeah, that's nice.
I'm taping Men at Work.
Okay.
I can jump in there real quick.
I think I fall to the floor and like right now.
You know what I mean? Yes, marble is I think it's white marble, orange marble. Oh, okay. It's the switch here is a marble. And this is the sun marble. Well, this is the marble.
Oh, I see.
Oh, this is about but you see the inside. The outside is not possible because that is possible to make it inside water.
Oh, sure. Very, very.
And so therefore it shows the prices.
Restaurant Rivita, it's a nice restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Typical Venice style.
Your brother wrote it?
Sorry?
Does your brother wrote it?
No, just oh, every gondola company is working here. Yeah, but it's very speedy, very quickly.
No, the background music is so crazy. Oh, we're gonna fall in?
Oh, I could have. I'll just hold on now.
To your left, girl. Bad.